Hey there, Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising. It's Maggie from Moon Directed. Welcome to my channel. Here we work with the energy of the moon to see how we can best utilize it to move our life forward in the most positive way possible. Today we're going to talk about the week of November 25th through December 1st, including that new moon that's happening in Sagittarius on Tuesday at 4 degrees of Sagittarius. And so there's not as much to cover as usual, but I did channel messages for you, and so we're going to get to that in just a second. But I want to thank you for your likes, your shares, your comments, for helping me grow my channel. I really appreciate it. When you leave me a comment, when you like the channel and you interact with me, it connects our energy, and you are more likely to get messages that resonate for you because we've had an exchange of energy. If, of course, you would like to exchange energy by making a donation, you can do that through my PayPal. That information is below. I also do readings. So the channeled information for you for this week. So I got colors this week, and the color I got for you was green. And so green is about growth. It is about... it could be money, but it was more like growth. And this felt like growth of a plan, of an idea, is kind of how it felt. Because what I saw, and you were up in your head, because all I saw was from like here up of your head. And so you were way up in your head planning, and there was this focus, and there's this determination. And I could only see like from here forward. And so there's a lot I couldn't see. Like I couldn't see where you were. I could see what you were looking toward, and what you were looking toward looked like a lot of foothills that had all these ups and downs. And so I'm not sure which the best way is forward. I think you're sitting there assessing, like, I have all these things, these obstacles I have to get around, get through, get over, whatever. And what is the best way forward for me is kind of how it felt. It was very determined. And so let's see here. Nope, that was it. I couldn't tell if you're focusing on a task or on a plan. But because of the terrain, whatever it is, even if it's a task, it's going to require multiple steps to get through the plan to figure it out. So this week, instead of, I always like to choose and select crystals that I usually leave them in water here in this bowl so that it's the emotional energy of the reading. But when I was... Oh, this itching spirit's really showing up here today. When I was trying to figure out which ones I was going to use, I decided to use my crystal intention cards to help me figure out. And so we have the golden topaz. And it says, I step forward with joy and enthusiasm. I see my path shining brightly before me. And I think that has a lot to do with what I saw. It's like there's a path ahead of you. It was focused and was determined. And so if you can find that inner child within you, that solar plexus energy, that confidence, that joy to step out onto this path and make your way forward, I think that you'll enjoy the trip a lot more. It says, I am healthy and strong thanks to physical movement and exercise outdoors. Chalcopyrite, very shiny, very gold, very, again, sun. After coming out of this Scorpio energy that has been so stressful. It's been stressful. It's been dark. It's been like, I used to work at a pet shop, and once a week we had to stick our hands down in the tanks and swirl it all around so that we could get all the stuff to come up into the water, so it would go through the filtration system and be removed from the tank. That's what this Scorpio with Mercury in retrograde was like for, I don't know anyone it wasn't like that for. So I don't have any of those, but I selected a Tiger's Eye, which is very focused, but it's very solar plexus. It's very energetic, like future going forward. And then I honestly don't know what this is, but it was pretty, and I was looking for solar plexus gemstones one day, and I saw that. I'm like, oh, I like that one, and I can't remember what it is. And so then the other two I picked out Spirit gave me, were labradorite, which is I take time for reflection and see my life from a higher perspective. And it did seem like you were looking down into the foothills from a higher elevation. And so that's labradorite, and labradorite's really cool, and that's easy to find. It's got all these little gold flecks and blue, and mine has a lot more blue than gold in it, but I was working on throat chakra, and so I picked one that had a little more blue but throat chakra. So labradorite is the solar plexus and the throat. So having the confidence to speak your truth and to move yourself forward. I take time for reflection and see my life from a higher perspective. And so that's that, focusing the energy on the goals you're heading toward and what is your truth. Even if you don't speak it out loud, you speak it to yourself. You know what it is that you want. And then we have fluorite. I am smart. I am open to learning something new. I am organized. And it's beautiful. It's this beautiful green and purple. And I actually bought it because I was working on those issues. I am smart. I am open to learning something new. I am organized. I work on organizing all the time. One of these days I'll get it, right? Okay, so overall energy for the week. Overall energy for the week for Taurus. What is going on with you? So we're going to start out this week, and that moon is still in Scorpio. The sun has moved into Sagittarius. Ooh, I'm recording this today on what is called the galactic center, which is at Sagittarius. It's at 28 degrees and 11 minutes of Sagittarius. And today on Sunday, Jupiter and Venus are there in conjunction in the galactic center. So it's this energy of expansion, of emotional expansion, of filling up with joy. And so I wasn't surprised to see all these solar plexus colors come up. So allow yourself to feel that energy. If for some reason your weekend was not all fun-filled and romantic, fill yourself up with self-love. You don't have to be in a, that isn't the kind of love that you need to get from someone else. The opportunity is there, but when you love yourself, you attract that energy to you. And so, if there isn't someone that's significant in your life, you could still get there. So, all right, so we have the Lovers coming up for your overall energy for the week. That is about a choice. Do I need another card? No. Maybe. That is about a choice. A choice that has to do with, it could be career or moving, or it's something that affects the people in your life that you care about. Okay, so it's kind of like last week when what I saw was you were at a crossroads. The Lover's card is that kind of energy, like one way doesn't work anymore. I need to make a choice. In this card, you see, in the background, you see a girl picking between two guys. In the front, you see this couple that every day they pick each other because you have the dog of loyalty between them. So it's either choosing one thing over the other or choosing, I'm in this relationship with this person, and what is the best thing for us to do moving forward as a unit. So it could be one thing or the other. We have the King of Pentacles here. So it could be definitely job related. Like okay, so Scorpio was in your house of partnership. And now we're in your house of transformation. So it could be business, it could be home, it could be that the job is creating some sort of situation. But the thing about the King of Pentacles is he knows how to manifest. He knows how to manifest in all areas. So we have a child in the background, and we have spirit, and we have, planting seeds and making money. Money's pouring out of one hand, seed out of the other. And so choosing the way forward, what do I go from here? What's the best options for me from this space moving forward? Not that at all. So Venus is going to move into Capricornio on Monday. And so there's going to be this, it's in this loving energy, but it's going to quickly move into how do I make a practical plan to manifest what I want in my life. Because Venus rules your sign and rules Libra. Well, when she's in your sign, it is, and in the earth signs in particular, that is about manifesting in a very physical, practical manner. And so there's kind of like this energy of change. So if I had to pick one energy that's overriding for, it's so funny, this is the card you got. If I was going to pick one energy that's overriding for the week, it's the energy of change. You can't stop it. It's happening. The planets, the way everything is lined up, the shifting, the nodes, the way we've got Pluto and Saturn coming into conjunction. We've got right on the tail of, within 2 weeks, we have 2 eclipses coming up at the end of the month and the beginning of January. 2 eclipses which eclipse things out of our life and change things. They just do. And then we've got the Pluto and Saturn, which happens like every 35, 38 years. So what were you doing 35, 38 years ago? It's that kind of a cycle. It's coming to a conclusion. You're starting a new one. So what have you learned? It's always about what have you learned and what are you going to do next? And so this is opportunity to sit and plan. And so this energy right here, you have the 2 masks. So this is being able to view life with a partner where 2 viewpoints become 1. That's interesting. That's interesting. So that's kind of what you're focusing on this week is as the changes going forward, you and someone else seeing things from the same perspective. 2 points becoming 1. That same perspective could be, we're going to make this change together, or we're going to make this change separately. But you're going to be on the same page. You get on the same page with someone is what it feels like to me. So there's this emotional situation that is coming to an end. So if you've been, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that kind of thing going on, you're going to figure out how to compromise to see things from the same perspective. Or you're going to say, this isn't working. And when you both go, yeah, no, this isn't working. It's going to be one or the other. So looking for that creative, practical problem solving on Monday. On Tuesday, that moon is going to move into Sagittarius really early in the morning, 3:11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then at 10:06 a.m., it becomes a new moon. So it's just at 4 degrees of the new moon. This energy here is about, at this degree, it's about 2 paths. It is assessing the situation, and Kali runs this moon, and it is about destroying what doesn't work so we can create space for new growth. It is the next in the cycle of the breaking things down. Scorpio is about the death. This is about the destruction. Then the Capricorn moon will be about the resting phase to prepare for the new growth. And so it is that kind of energy. There is a beginning coming. There is a need to recharge and after this really, really difficult month of Scorpio, right? It's been difficult, but there's a new beginning coming. There's a new beginning coming. And so where do you want to plant your seeds of intention? Where do you want to put your hope? Because you're sitting there and you're looking at all these hills. I think, but I couldn't see a path. All I saw were all these hills, and I kind of think that has a lot to do with this energy. There's a lot of tower energy, like things are just going to come crashing down that are not working, and the way forward isn't as important as knowing what your destination is. And I know that Taurus likes to plan things out and have everything in a nice detailed manner. I kind of think, though, that because of the energies that are surrounding everyone right now in all the situations, it would be much more helpful if you could view this from the position of change is coming. This is where I want to end up. Like being crystal clear with your intentions about the destination, but maybe not the way you get there, the path forward. And instead, keeping your eye on the distance, but focusing on the next 2 steps in front of you. Like, instead of mapping everything out, because I don't think the energy is going to allow you to do that, number one. I just don't. I don't think there's time for you to sit there and map it all out. And also, it is a very shifting, it's like a lava flow. Like it's changing the terrain as it moves and flows along, all this change. And so what you think is the next step may not even be there. And so it's kind of like, what's my next step? Where's my next safe space to move? But I'm knowing where you're going, but not having to have all the details of getting there. I know, not exactly what Taurus ever wants to hear. You can try, and I'm sure you will, because that's what you're used to doing. But I'm going to recommend that you are prepared, that what you think is the next. Okay, so you might get the first 3 steps right, but I think that steps 4, 5, 6 are not going to be what you thought. And so then, of course, that makes the rest of them also need to be readjusted. So you have expect powerful change, and it's eclipse energy. That's the new moon eclipse energy. This is actually the next new moon eclipse. So we have a new moon coming on Tuesday, right? But then on December 26th, we have a new moon eclipse. you can't, the changes are happening. You can't stop them. You can prepare for them in the best way possible. You can make the next couple of steps where you're going to have to move forward on whatever this is. So what's the next couple of steps? I don't think you could see like those mountains, those little hills. I don't know if you could tell. Well, there's a drop off there, or there's a bridge out over that river, or am I gonna have to take a boat when I get down there because maybe there's no way across, or is it shallow enough I can walk across? I don't think you could see that stuff from where you are. You're gonna have to step out onto the journey and be a little more flexible, a little more willing to see what happens along the way. Okay, so we have transformation and faraway places. There is a realization that there's something better out there than where you are. There is a bigger world, a better world, a more beautiful world that you want to head off into. We have faraway places. Get ready for new horizons. So you could literally be making a move in the job. This could be spiritual new horizons. This could be romantic new horizons. This could be a lot. You could be getting ready to graduate from college, and there's a new horizons of where you're going and stuff. It is a big transformation. It is a big transformation. A fresh new way of living emerges. There's big changes coming. You can't stop it. The question becomes, what attitude will you pick? Will you view this as the big, exciting journey, opportunity, adventure of a lifetime that it could be? Or are you going to let yourself feel uncomfortable because you don't like change? And with Uranus sitting there in Taurus at about 4 or 5 degrees right now, so that energy is in a quincunx, which is a very uncomfortable angle to the Sagittarius new moon. It's going to happen. There's not much you can do about it. The nice thing is that eclipse that happens in Capricorn, that's in a nice trine energy with where you are. And so, you have navigating by the stars, follow your bliss. Look at that. You can't really see the road ahead because it's dark out, but there's paths ahead. That's really funny. It kind of looks like it, except it was daylight. So choosing to be excited, choosing the adventure that you want, going forward in a way that makes you excited and happy and interested in life. And think about it. When was the last time you felt really excited about life? Because if it's been a while, it's time to tap back into that, because this is the opportunity that's being offered to you. There's a decision that is going to be made, and yeah, you might feel a little nervous, but honestly, here's the thing. Right now, before this tower happens, because it's coming, that's when everything falls apart. You have the opportunity while you still have some kind of control to navigate through, to plan the destruction in an orderly fashion. If you choose to stay in stuck energy, if you don't make a decision, if this choice comes up and you are still sitting there not making a decision, the transformation is going to happen anyway. So I think if you want to feel like you have some sort of control over it, mapping out your next couple of steps in that transformation becomes more important. And then on Thursday morning at 7:33 a.m., the moon is going to move into Capricorn, and Capricorn is all about the hard work, the slow, steady, being cautious, being patient, but stepping into your personal power. Where are you going to invest your time, energy, money, resources? Are you going to accept help? Are you going to accept the situation? Are you going to accept divine guidance so that you can promote the growth, to move in the direction that you want to move, to get things going where you want to? So you have discovered the power in giving what you need. Time, money, and love will all come back triple when you give it out. That is the advice. Don't hang on so tightly to the status quo. Open up your hands and give so that you can receive back. When you are generous, and so if you're going through a breakup, being generous in negotiations. If you are leaving a job position, being generous with your time in training the next person coming in. Being willing to give, and the universe will bring it back to you. It will make everything easier. It opens up that flow, that energy exchange, right? Just like when I ask you to hit that thumbs up button, it's the energy exchange that you're giving out into the universe that helps bring back in what what you really want and need. At 3:13 p.m. on Saturday afternoon, that moon is going to move into Aquarius. And this is about the ideas. This is the research, the discussion, the new beginnings. Like, okay, I've got this situation here, and I'm going to look at all the different possible scenarios and the outcomes. I mean, this is taking that Rubik's Cube, right, and flipping it around all the different ways to figure out what's the best way forward to solving the puzzle. This is the part where you get to love yourself enough to look at all the options and pick the one that really works for you. I cannot stress enough that delaying to make a decision, delaying to take a step forward is not recommended. Deciding what you're going to do while you have some control over the next few steps is highly recommended, and allowing the universe to pour its abundance all over you and nourish you and bring it to you in a softer way. So if you know anything about tarot, the Tower card is either sometimes it's in the upright, sometimes it's in the reverse. Well, when it's in the upright and you get it, that's like, oh my gosh, the divine came in and wiped everything out, and boom, there's the change, and now it's all destruction. When it shows up in the reverse, which is the preferred way, in my opinion, is when you said, okay, well, the change is coming, but I'm going to dictate some of how this change occurs. And it's a gentler experience when you have some of that control. So it's kind of up to you. Tower's coming. Do you want it in the upright, total destruction? Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do here. Not that Taurus stays in that energy long, but or okay, you know what? It's coming. So how can I manage this in a way that works the best for me? That's kind of your options. So we have breathe. Oh, lighting. Here we go. We have breathe. It's that meditative. It's that breathing out of the negative energy. It's taking that time to go in for a walk in nature and just actually enjoy being where you are. Building blocks. It is the next couple of steps. What are you building? Where do you want to go? You know, figuring it out, and you have loyal heart. This choice, this decision. If you're making it with your partner, make sure you make it with your partner. Like, don't leave them out of the process, right? Allow them to support you in your decision. If it's a decision between two jobs, you know, what makes your heart feel better? If it's between two people, loyal heart also has to do with being loyal to your heart. What do you want? And so planting your seeds, the seedlings that are planted, the ideas, the dreams that are planted with this new moon are going to need a lot of protection. They're going to need a lot of nurturing and a lot of self-love because there's changes coming. And so being able to keep the dream alive, staying focused on it, not losing sight of where you're going is going to be very important because there's a lot of shifting and changing, kind of like a volcano erupting or an earthquake kind of energy to it. So, nice. So, your word is manifestation. This is you, King of Pentacles. You can manifest anything. What do you want to manifest? So picking your path, really, really highly recommended. If you could have anything you wanted, what would it be? Get specific and get greedy. You're holding a magic wand and you can conjure up anything. Could it be that when you declared your wishes out loud, you were actually casting a spell for your dreams to come true? Or is it just that in a very practical sense, the more people you speak with about your desires, the more folks there are who know what you want and might have the means to help you make them happen? Either way, stop waiting and start manifesting. But don't use that word if you don't want to. Acceptance of a situation, it's going to change. Acceptance of divine guidance. Acceptance of other people's help. What are you going to invest? Your time, your energy, your resources. Invest it in you and your dreams. That's where you start. All right. I will see you guys back here next week. Have a great week. If you're in the United States, happy Thanksgiving to you. If you know a Sagittarius, don't forget to wish them a happy birthday. And you take care. I will talk soon.